All right. So
Hi, this is Jack Olmstead. I'm with GMO Free News. I'm with Paul Janulis with a Legacy Group. How are you doing today, Paul?
I'm doing great. I had a very, very busy and productive day, so that makes me happy. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. You're sitting in your office. Tell us a little bit
That is
about yourself
correct.
and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Yeah, well, I have a real estate team. I'm the vice president. My CEO back there is working really hard. And I have Marie here, who's kind of the brains of the operation. She's handling a lot of our administrative stuff. We basically, buy and sell houses. We get the most amount of money for our sellers. We get the best deals for our buyers, and that's pretty much it. We're out here in Oakland County, Macomb. I do some work out in Wayne, Genesee. We're all over the place. And then, the charity part of what we're doing, which is kind of what we're talking about here, is we want to take a portion of our business and put it towards charity projects. So this water effort is one. So I just kind of labeled it, the Legacy Group Water Project. And we're just a grassroots effort to try to deliver some water. And the other one is my friend's gym. That's a nonprofit. It's called Victory Gym. And it's a nonprofit gym that's designed to help veterans with transitioning. So specifically with any service-related injuries, PTSD, that sort of thing, veterans can work out and get physical exercise, which is always a good help for that transition for at no cost. And then of course we're working on getting other programs in there too, mental health stuff and that sort of thing. That's on the ground floor, and this water thing is just a major issue. So we just want to get involved and help out any way that we can.
You're a vet?
Yes, sir. So, yep, I'm coming up about 10 years of service. Spent did a couple tours overseas. So, and a few years ago, got out of full-time military service to get involved in real estate and start a real estate company.
What branch of the service were you in?
It's the Army. So.
And what did you do in the Army? What was your job?
Basically, on my deployments, a specialized infantry unit. So that's about all I'll get into with it. But so we're combat arms. So and basically just catching bad guys. That's about it.
Talk about how you became aware of the Flint water crisis.
Okay, so I insulate myself from the news because a lot of it's negative and it distracts me from trying to make a positive influence on my environment around me. So I kind of only pay attention to news that I can directly influence in some way, shape, or form, right? And I came across my desk that, well, first was Detroit, that 40% of people in Detroit have had their water shut off. They don't have running water at all. And I'm like, what? Like, are you kidding me? That many people, residents, don't have water at all? Like, what is going on? And then shortly after that, I get a piece of news, and I have no idea what's happening. None. And I live maybe less than 30 minutes from Flint. I'm like 25 minutes away. I live in Rochester, right? So it's pretty close. And Flint, it's that pediatricians, is the gist of the article, that pediatricians had discovered that kids had lead poisoning, basically was what the article was saying, due to the Flint water and what was happening with the water in the city of Flint. I was like, what are you talking about? So now, not only in our first world country here that I've fought for and that I still fight for and that I stand behind, we have our own citizens that don't have running water right around the corner from me. And I'm just now finding out about this. I mean, that it's that many people, right? And then up to the north of me in Flint, you got people paying their water bills, and their kids are getting poisoned with lead and other things going on there. I mean, it was just, I was astounded. I was like, what the hell? What is going on? And then this kind of, and I don't want to get so crazy about it, but I mean, then I got some info, that they were moving refugees, the first round of refugees, just really more or less, kind of a political move or whatever, into Troy, Michigan. And then that celebrities were raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for refugees. Now, refugees need help too. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to get all into that. There's a lot of different ways to help them, but we have people right here in Michigan that don't have running water. I mean, I bet you any of these people I saw in Flint would sign up today to go be a refugee. Move me to Troy. They're probably thinking, I'll have clean water. They're probably volunteer to work rather than just, getting government assistance and donations. I mean, it's incredible to me that that's what's going on. But, people in government are looking more or less for the dopamine dump of feeling like they're doing good and, the publicity of doing something so they feel like they're making this difference. And they're totally ignoring these other problems for people that need help right here today in our own communities. I was ticked off. I was pissed, I was angry about that. And so, which is typical. I usually get angry like 10 times a day. So this is just like one of those things. And then my son, my 5-year-old, who's like the main reason why I'm not active duty right now. You know what I mean? I got out of that, and everything I kind of do is to help him. But my son gets a lot of stuff, right? Because we work hard to provide for him. And so he doesn't understand at age 5 that there are people out there that just don't have stuff. They don't have anything. There's people without running and water, clean water in Flint and in Detroit, yet, he's, and he's ungrateful maybe about a toy that he didn't really want that somebody got him for Christmas. So I'm like, oh man, as a dad, I'm like, okay, I got to do something. This is my fault, really, because I've insulated him from what's going on out there. He has to start understanding that there are people out there that need help. And furthermore, I need to start doing more to help other people. I was so focused on helping to put our business together last year. There's a number of things that happened. We were kind of in scramble mode for a number of reasons. We did a good job. We helped out a lot of clients and everything. Our clients are happy with us, but I've been very focused on, my work and building my what I'm doing and my family and other things going on. That charity, other than donations here and there, money donations, I have not actually gotten involved. And so that was something that needed to be different, And so now, from now on until forever, about 10% of what I do, at least money-wise, as well as effort, is going to go towards a charitable project, at least 10%. You know what I mean? And the better I do, the more I can put towards that. So that's the rest of what I'm going to do. And so my son got me there, believe it or not, because I want to be able to get him involved in this at some point, so he understands what's going on out there. I want him to grow up with that sense of charity, I guess, that sense of wanting to help other people and not being, so self-absorbed. And anyway, that was what happened. So I got ticked off, and I was looking though at I was like doing Google searches, and I know you've now gotten me in touch with a number of things that I didn't know were happening, which is good. So I'm looking forward to networking with them. But at the time, I just went on the internet, and all I could find really were just political posturing, demonstrations, arguments, but I wasn't seeing where there was any effort that I could see where they're actually distributing water to people that need it. Do you know what I mean? Flint talked about, distributing and this is just, again, a quick search, but talk about distributing, filters, right? First of all, I'm not even 100% sure. I'm no scientist or anything, right? But I'm not 100% sure that those particular filters are going to filter properly the water that's coming out of the faucet. I don't even know the scope of how bad it is, but I understand that it's pretty bad. That's first thing. But the second thing is, they've only given out a couple hundred of these things over the past year. Well, the entire city has polluted water. You know what I mean? So what's up with that? You're not distributing these out, and there's probably I know very well how government works, so it's probably just no systems in place to get this stuff out there. They probably got filters sitting someplace, and it's up to those people to try to go through 50 different channels to figure it out. And a lot of people, they're poor people. I don't know what else to call it. They're not, you know, that they're struggling, and they don't have the resources to even figure out how to get a water filter from the city if it's for free even for them. So I couldn't see where there were any sources where anything was actually going on, or anybody was actually delivering anything. So my thought was, I'm just loading the truck up. I'm gonna go over there. My goal was 60 families. I'm gonna knock on 60 doors and drop off a case of water. That's it. It was Christmas weekend. It'll get them maybe through New Year's, depending on how big their family is. And then I'll look to do another trip, maybe another trip, and get a few people involved or whatever. I mean, at some point, you just have to start doing it. You start acting, you know, and then you plan as you go. I'm not saying that planning isn't important, but people get this analysis paralysis and they don't do anything. They argue, they posture, they debate, they meet. Nothing happens for weeks and weeks and weeks. These people don't have clean water right now. All right. So if I can just deliver water to a few families on a weekend, I helped out those people on the weekend. You know, film it, throw it on YouTube, start educating people. I didn't know this till a couple of weeks ago that this even was a thing. All right. And now now not only do I know, my team knows, my office knows, people all over the place know now. And we're going to continue to, you had mentioned that this was good exposure, filming on the ground what's going on. So we want to continue to do that, raise awareness, network with other people that are willing to help, and start doing what we can to help. So
I've got your first video that you put up on YouTube. Can you talk about this?
Sure. I don't know what I say half the time in my videos. I don't know what I say half the time, most of the time. So I'm to say that right now. All my videos are kind of like a one shot, one kill. There's just like one take. Mistakes, I don't care. You know, it's like I'll view it one time to make sure I didn't swear, and then I put it on there. So I know I'm talking about the project right now. The idea, do you know what I mean? And so the idea was really that we were just going to deliver. So I'm explaining the premise, you know, and I'm explaining what happened. We're going to deliver water to families in need. I explained what happened. Basically, what I just explained to you, I explained this video in a more concise manner, you know, and so that's what this one is. And I'm just sitting in my office and just getting the info out there, you know, and then I'm going to track my progress through a series of short videos so you guys can see what happened. Oh yeah, one thing, at the time I made this, it's very important to understand, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just a regular guy who's trying to help out. So I had no idea what I was going to see when I was going to start banging on doors. If people were going to tell me, they could have told me, hey, we get water delivered every other day from the city of Flint. You know, like they could have told me that, and I would have been like, oh, you know, not putting this on YouTube, I'll get a different cause to jump on. Like I had no idea what was going to happen. I couldn't see anything clearly on the internet, what was going on to help these people. I didn't know maybe how severe is it? That was another question. Is the media just jumping on some story, or is this really a serious problem? So anyway, so that was that. And then there's this video I see queuing up here. Just, you know, I was at just going to different places to find the best rate on cases of water. I think it was at a Kmart. I found like you know, like 3 cases for, I don't know, like 10 or 12 bucks or something. And I just was filling my truck up. You know, I cleared out like a couple stores, you know, and dollar store and, you know, this Kmart that was down the street. And I think we ended up, I did the math later. I mean, it was like 2,000 pounds of water. So it was a lot of water. I probably need to try to break that up into trips next time.
Okay, how about this video here?
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned. So yeah, this is
60 cases, 60 families.
Yep. So that was the goal: 60 cases, 60 families. So I picked up 60 cases of water, loaded the truck up, just spent a few $100 on it, and then that was it. You know what I mean?
Now in this video here, you are on the road.
Yes. Oh, is that when my truck almost broke? Oh yeah, my truck's going to break. Okay, so yeah, it was just, you know, it's just a growing pain. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I'm just going to do something. I know that action needs to happen, and I'll figure it out. But there's probably about 2,000 pounds of water in that thing. So, yep. My truck was like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm like, uh-oh. I'd stop for a second and check the load requirements, and I was probably a little bit over what the load requirement would be on an old Ford F-150. So, but we made it. We made it okay. So.
How are you recording yourself?
Just off a phone, and I got a little stand, and I just set it up so it wasn't, you know what I mean, like too distracted while driving. That's why it was like 20 seconds, you know what I mean. But yeah, just my cell phone. That's it. I don't have anything fancy.
What cell phone do you have?
iPhone 6. So maybe that is fancy by some standards, but it's not a fancy delivery camera thing, right?
Okay, how about this video here?
Okay, so I wanted to interview residences, and she was a very nice lady. She had a couple kids. She seemed, she's a smart lady. Intelligent. She could explain what was going on. She wasn't shy about talking to me, and so I figured that was a good one to feature. And I know I needed to do more of these in the future, more of these interviews with people when we're down there, so that, people who aren't in Flint and aren't seeing what I'm seeing get the impact of it. But what she was saying to me was, and when they rushed the video, was that, she has a few kids, and she's like, I'm not letting my kids drink this stuff. I've known that for a while now. It smells bad. There's no way that stuff is safe. So she supplies and buys. She's one of the more responsible adults down there who is making sure, and she's not as economically disadvantaged. She's making sure that their kids have clean water. But she said the schools, though, she's like, I send my kids to school, and the city and the schools are claiming that the water's clean for the kids there. She's like, I don't trust that. How can it be clean? How can it not be safe in my home, but it's somehow safe in the school when it's coming from the same water source? So she made that point, and it's pretty interesting. And I think what it amounts to is that I'm no conspiracy theorist here, but it's pretty clear that they're wanting to cover up the impact of what's going on. You know what I mean? And that's a spinoff, I guess, a little quick spinoff on that, because I'm sure you're covering and people have different things, but it really, I guess, it only makes sense, as terrible as it is, because what you have, and that's what this whole thing points to, is a crumbling infrastructure, right? So they don't have, printing, the Fed is printing $3.3 billion a day, and we're paying for all this other stuff, but we're not paying for our own infrastructure. City of Flint's broke, Detroit's broke, so Michigan here, and it's the same way in other states, I'm sure. It's not sexy for a politician to say, I'm going to spend a bunch of your tax dollars on our infrastructure. You know what I mean? That's not cool. It's cooler to say I'm doing refugees and bringing them in to help them out, or something like that, versus I'm going to work on our pipes or whatever it is. And so the infrastructure is not getting repaired. They're kicking out water that's completely unusable, that the city of Flint's paying for, right? They're paying for this stuff, and they can't use it. So then the Flint is already out of budget. So they're now raising, she was explaining, they're raising the prices on them. Their water bill is more and more expensive, so they can try to afford to fix the infrastructure. Well, then what happens is people say, I have this undrinkable water that I'm paying for. I'm just going to stop paying my water bill. All right. Which, by the way, means you can have a lien placed on your house, and it's all kinds of economic implications for people that make that decision. And some of those people don't know that there's an economic implication. Some of the people, based on what I saw, cannot afford these high water bills. That's really a problem. If they're buying cases of water, buying stuff every week, and paying the city of Flint, they can't afford it, so they stop paying for the water bill. Anyways, so now that tax revenue and that money is not going into that program, and so then they have to raise it more. So you can kind of see how this is cycle of destruction that's happening, and it's insanity. Like we're crazy. I don't even know what's going on. Like we're just insane that we're allowing this to happen. So anyway, if we can raise awareness on that, that would be that's a major goal of ours here. But anyway, she brings in that interview, she brings a lot of points up there.
This is the last interview or the last video you made that day.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your last video of the day, your recap of the day? What did you say?
Yeah, so that was I guess the impact of what was going on like hit me a lot more when I was doing that. I didn't really know what to say in this interview because I had an old lady like cry and give me a hug, I had like 5 old ladies give me hugs when I brought them water. But I'm not like I'm not a touchy-feely kind of a softy guy, right? And so I was like, gosh, this lady is just a case of water, it's that. But she was so grateful because she was not mobile, right? She had physical ailments and problems. You could just tell. And so her getting out of the the house to go pick up water and stuff, you know what I mean? That's not something that she can do. So she can't drink her tap water. She can't, get out to the store whenever she feels like to buy water. She's on a fixed income. So that's a financial problem. Anyway, she was just so grateful that somebody brought her something because probably nobody's paying any attention to her. Just a second. Hey. Oh, yeah, you don't want to know me right now.
I know. You good?
Yes. Sorry. We yell at each other all the time.
Yeah, if he wants, I could take a screen snap of this and send it to his email so he can actually see that this is live going out around the world.
It's going around the world. It's around the world, guys.
Where's Waldo?
Yes. It's good. It's comic relief. We're fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
They're working hard over here, man. That's the thing. They're a part of this too, actually. So without this team here, I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff, and that's the truth. So I'm doing the interview, but these guys are really going to be helping out quite a bit. I've had a number of local businesses too that have volunteered to help business owners and stuff. So it's incredible, actually. So yeah, Brandon here and Marie have been phenomenal on supporting this project. And just this last couple days, I've had a flood of phone calls of people wanting to get involved, wanting to help because they didn't know this was going on before, right? And so, that's just, it's amazing. I'm so glad about that. So, because I can't do it all myself, I can't go out every day and bring water to people. But if we get a good grassroots effort here and a lot of people aware, willing to help, then a number of things can happen. People can talk to people in government and try to lobby for things to change that way. We can get supplies to people on the ground up there that don't have it, and so on, right? So anyway, sorry, but yeah, back to this little. You had asked me a question, so it was just impacting us to how grateful, people were. The gratitude was pretty amazing, especially the elderly people. I thought more about the kids before going into it, and the families, and I thought I was going to see a lot of, I guess, you could say people that made just bad life decisions, and that's why they're in Flint. I don't mean to say it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound that way. But I'm just gonna call it like it is. You'll always get a no BS thing from me, and that's just what I thought. And I'm not the only one who thought that. It's pretty much anybody who's not in that inner city area and seeing what's going on. That's what they're thinking. Like if you made some better choices, you get out of Flint. You know what I mean? It makes sense, right? But try to get a better job, try to get yourself out of that situation. And yeah, there were some people there that definitely, probably need to do some different things, right? But the elderly people, they lived in Flint when Flint was, one of the greatest cities in the world or whatever, United States. Flint was a great city at one point, same with Detroit, right? Really before much of my time, before the 80s, these are great places to live. These weren't bad places to live. They worked, they lived there, they had community pride, and now they're stuck there because they're on a fixed income. in a house that has decreased so far in value at this point that if they sell it, they're lucky to get $10,000-$20,000 for a house that, they may still owe, $100,000 on, $70,000 on. I mean, it's incredible. They can't get out. What are they supposed to do? They're on a fixed income, and some of them, why do they want to leave the house they've been in for 20, 30 years? Tell an elderly person, you should move out of the house that you raise your kids in. That's hard pill to swallow. So they've watched their community just degrade over time. Do you know what I mean? And it was really impacting to me just how many elderly people there that are not there by choice. A lot of children there too, not there by choice. I mean, whatever the decisions their parents made, some seemed like they were good parents, just like anybody else. Some you could tell like there's probably problems in that household, right? But those kids, it's not their fault. You know what I mean? And so what are we supposed to do about that? And so it was just really impacting. I mean, I knew I wanted to help people, and my thought was, it doesn't matter. I don't care if they're freaking drug dealer or a single mom. I'm just going to help them and hand them water. That's it. You're just helping people. Whatever. I'm not getting into all that other stuff. But I had a perception, I think, that I guess I didn't know or realize that there would be so many normal, good people, I guess you could say, families and elderly people too, especially the elderly, that just are there and are being affected by this, and how grateful they were that I was just handing them a case of water. I mean, it's incredible. I couldn't believe it. So that was the last video. I was kind of like, what is happening? And I was reflecting on that stuff, and that's it. And that makes my conviction here more, I'm more convicted now, to do more and to see this thing through with the resources I have and with the best that I can do. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. So.
In the video, you described yourself as a jerk most of the time. Not many people would say that about themselves, especially on camera, put it out there on YouTube.
Right.
It doesn't sound, I mean, you talking to you right now, you don't seem like much of a jerk.
I appreciate that, Jack. I do care people. Is that even a thing? I care about people, obviously, or wouldn't be doing this. I joined the military because I care about people. I mean, granted, I was not on the charitable giving side of things. However, I believed not so much in the bigger government stuff, but just that there were people that were being affected by tyranny, and you would see people that would take advantage of their communities in some of the most horrible ways out in the Middle East. They had no qualms about hurting women, children, kids. I mean, that was not even a thought in their minds. And that was terrible. You know what I mean? And I've always been motivated to help people, but I'm a very A-type personality, I guess. I'm someone you call if you need something done. I'm not necessarily someone you call for me to give you a hug. And so sometimes I'm so focused on the goal, and getting things done. Let's get this thing accomplished. Let's accomplish the mission, right? That I will occasionally, not be cognizant of other people's feelings, right? I'm just like, hey, we need to do this. Let's get it done. And I don't care about hurting feelings sometimes. So sometimes I might come across that way. Obviously, I'm not really like a bad person or what maybe someone might, I don't know what someone's definition might be of a jerk, but I can be very domineering and very goal driven, and I might not spare somebody's feelings. I might be very upfront about something and upset somebody. But I'm getting better at that, though. That's the thing. I'm getting better at that because this is a people thing, people business, and you have to, you have to make people feel okay, and that's part of achieving any goal now. So over the last couple of years, actually, since I've been back from full-time military service, that's something I've really been working on. So it's funny that
They don't teach you that in the military.
No. You tend to get more done in some ways, especially in a combat environment, being the jerk. Sometimes you have to be. And if I got to turn that on, I will. But now I'm definitely better. So, that's funny. But I was unscripted. That was the other thing, Jack. I didn't do 50 takes. I was like, this thing, I was just so impacted by what happened. And as I was thinking about it and talking, I mean, I wanted to capture whatever came out of my mouth at that moment so that people would feel what I'm feeling, if that's possible, over YouTube. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah. So even though I said that it wasn't a scripted thing, I just was thinking about it. Like, God, yeah, this is incredible. You know, how serious this thing is, you know, and anyway, so sorry.
It came across to me. That's why I reached out to you.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Thank you.
What you said didn't go with what you were projecting from the video.
Right. Well,
that actually you were impacted by giving out 60 cases of water to 60 residents a week before Christmas.
Yes.
It impacted you, you know, I guess emotionally a little bit. And from your first videos that I saw, you weren't an emotional guy. You were just, this is what I'm going to do. This came across my desk. I'm just going to go do this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What's the future? What's your vision of being involved with this project, the Legacy Water Project?
Yeah. So the vision, and I have a number of things that we're going to be brainstorming, because I've had a lot of people volunteer a number of things, you know, financial donations, of course, volunteering time to get out there and deliver the water, volunteering to help with connecting, planning. And so we're still brainstorming a lot of things, but we don't want to spend so much time and effort brainstorming that we don't do anything, right? So the goal is every weekend that somebody's doing a delivery. So that's where we're going with this. But the vision is to network with the other groups too and see what everybody else is doing. But what I'd like to see happening, at least until the infrastructure is fixed or solved, if that's even a thing that we can trust will happen at any point. But the vision is that we're delivering water to those citizens like once a week. They're getting a case at least. That would be the thing to do. We want to scale it out though. So it's not just me and my truck. So by soliciting different help, the different levels of help, we can do this. We have a number of organizations that you've mentioned to me in our conversations that can maybe supply the water. So that's great. If they can supply the water, then maybe instead of personal vehicles water's actually really heavy. So we could be breaking people's vehicles. And the roads in Flint, by the way, are not always the safest, just in terms of potholes and stuff. So if we can get trucks then, so maybe some of the funding that we can get in donations will go to trucks, you know, pay for that stuff. Well, I just had a landscape company get in touch with us saying that they would donate trucks for the project on a weekend. Okay, well, if we can get some of that happening, we got the water paid for. Trucks are being donated to by people that care about this project. Well, now maybe the next thing is with those donations, maybe we're actually able to, you know, pay some of the people that live in Flint that are unemployed, don't have jobs, you know what I mean, are struggling every day, pay them a little extra money, you know, whatever it may be, you know, a daily amount or something, to help deliver the water. Maybe they have a valid driver's license, they're out, you know, helping with the deliveries or something, you know. So that's an option too, is that we actually, you know, employ people with a grassroots effort, you know, to deliver stuff. So it's all going to depend on level of help and level of funding and what we can achieve with this. If other groups are doing some things already, or they're trying to anyway, and so we'll network with them and hopefully, you know, just start getting things done. But the end state would be that, you know, every person in that community is getting, you know, at least a case or two of water a week delivered. That would be the end state. If we could scale it that large, that will really depend just on the people in the community, and then the other continue to be on the ground of this. And so, you know, to continue to be on the ground floor with this and to film more, right? Like, and mark, like, just kind of get the word out of what's happening. So, you know, I don't want to just like fund a project and never touch it again or something. I want to actually be there, see what's going on, see what's happening in that community, how they're impacted, capture it on camera, do some more interviews, different things, so that it raises the awareness, you know. That was kind of the point of me doing this YouTube video thing, was to raise the awareness of what's happening. And if we can, I want to continue to do that throughout this project so that people will understand what's happening. And then they're aware they can now start fighting this problem and other problems in their own way, right? Whether it's writing a congressperson or, you know what I mean, connecting with people that they know to help, whatever it is. So that's where we want to go. But we're still in the ground floor begin stages. That's it. This thing has actually grown in terms of people willing to help and where we're going with this. It's grown larger than I could have imagined in just a couple of weeks. So I'm trying to catch up now. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it's tough, but we'll get there.
Do you have any closing comments or anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, you know, I guess for your viewers, I have the Legacy Group Water Project on a crowd share, so maybe we can link that somewhere in your stuff. I got the YouTube channel, and I got Facebook, where you can friend request or like our page, the Legacy Group Water Project. This right there, what you have on the screen, is our website, which is now, it's under construction right now. It's completely all basic generic real estate right now. Over the next week or two, we're going to build this thing out, and you'll be able to link and click on our page to donate or help. You know what I mean? For this or the veterans project that my friend's working on, Victory Gym. So we're building that on this front page. You'll see that soon. You know, we have to work on that stuff. So obviously we were just strictly real estate, and now we're transitioning to doing more for the community. And so we want to feature that on our website. But I guess that's the only closing remark, is that if you could help, please get involved, you know, get in touch with me. I'm obviously, Paul Janulis is my Facebook. Friend request me or whatever. If we're not don't have any mutual friends, just send me a quick note or something. Just say, hey, want to help on the water thing, or even just stay informed. You know, if you just want to know what's going on, I'm going to be posting things to my page, and then the Legacy Group Water Project page, just like the page, you know, anything that we're doing is going to get posted up there. And of course, yeah. And so any way to help, whether it's donations or ideas or anything, just get in touch with me. So that's I guess the only thing I could close with here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Paul, for spending a little bit of your day with me. I know you're super busy. First of the year. I'm sure it's very busy for real estate.
Well, yeah, for us, extremely busy, you know. I mean, we took some listings over the weekend, and I got closes we're trying to coordinate just even in January. So, and then we're trying to build so we can keep doing more things. You know, we want to, like I said, we want to always put a portion of anything we're doing right back into the community. So yeah, I was very busy. Like I told you before, I finished a 16-hour day, so I didn't see your webcast yet. So hopefully I get to it tonight or tomorrow.